The battlefield was silent. Black smoke rose from burning metal. Alien buildings had fallen, their towers shattered like glass. Bodies both alien and human lay still across the dusty ground. The air was thick with the smell of fire and death. "Commander?" Jack Rayner stepped off the dropship. His boots crunched over broken glass and scorched stone. He was a tall human built like a soldier, with a strong jaw and dark armor, still marked with laser burns. "This place is finished," said a medic. Behind him, scanning the wreckage with a portable drone, Jack ignored the comment. His sharp eyes scanned the ruins. They were standing in what was once the capital city of the Elyari Empire, a proud and peaceful alien race who had been attacked by the cruel Draxon. The humans had come too late to stop the war, but not too late to help those who survived. "Any life signs?" Jack asked. "Faint ones," said the medic. "Deep underground, could be wounded, could be traps." Jack didn't care. He raised his rifle and walked forward. They moved past broken statues and shattered crystal walls. The Elyari were known for their beauty, their shining skin and glowing blue eyes. Now all that beauty was going to be buried in dust and blood. Down a broken stairway, Jack reached a sealed door half covered in rubble. "There," said the medic. Life reading behind that, Jack called for a cutting team. Within minutes, sparks flew. The door groaned, then fell open. Jack stepped inside first. The room was quiet. Soft blue light glowed from a broken lamp above. In the middle of the floor, lying on a bed of torn silk and ash, was a body. It was a woman, Anne Elyari. Her silver hair was stained with blood. Her eyes, half closed, still glowed faintly. Her skin, pale and cracked, shimmered with tiny light like starlight fading away. A golden crest on her chest confirmed her identity. "She's a royal," the medic whispered. "That's Princess Liravel." Jack dropped to one knee. "She's alive, barely, internal bleeding. Her body can't heal itself." "Do something," Jack said. The medic frowned. "Human medicine doesn't work on Elyari biology. Their immune system is too different. You don't have the enzyme her body needs." Liravel moved slightly. Her eyes opened fully for a second. She saw Jack. "You are human," she whispered. Jack leaned closer. "Yes, you're safe now." "I'm dying," she said, coughing. "But there is a way. An old belief. A bond between your kind and mine." Jack looked at the medic. "She's talking about the blood merge myth," said the medic, shaking his head. "Legend says human blood can restart Elyari cells, but it's dangerous. No proof it works." Lyra gripped Jack's hand. "Weakly, please. I don't want to die here. Alone. Let me try." Jack looked at her. She wasn't just any alien. She was royalty, the last of her people. If she died, the Elyari race might be lost forever. Jack stood up. "Do it." "What?" the medic said. "Use my blood. Give her the transfusion. Could kill her or mutate her. She's dying either way," Jack said. "Do it." The medic hesitated, then brought out the gene-adaptive injector. It was designed for emergency use between close species. Jack rolled up his sleeve. The needle went in. Blood flowed into the machine. The system adjusted it, filtered it, then pushed it into a new tube that connected to Lyra's arm. Her body twitched. Her eyes widened. The lights in the room flickered. Vitals. "Spiking!" the medic yelled. Lyra screamed, her back arching. Her body began to glow. Not softly brightly like a sun bursting inside her skin. Jack moved back. The light grew stronger. The air shimmered. The walls shook. Then dashed silence. Lyra collapsed. Her skin stopped glowing. Her body lay still. "She's stable," the medic whispered, stunned. "Heart rate normal. Vitals returning." Jack breathed out. "She's alive. For now," said the medic. But something changed. They carefully lifted her onto a stretcher. Jack walked beside her as they took her to the ship. The other soldiers didn't speak. They stared at the Elyari princess with wide eyes. Some looked afraid. As the ship took off and rose into the sky, Jack looked down at her. Her breathing was Steady. Her face was calm, but her fingers twitched now and then. Her veins glowed faintly under her skin, pulsing with a strange light, half blue, half red. Human and LYARI together. Jack didn't know what would happen next. No one did. Deep down, he knew one thing: this was not the end of something. It was the beginning. The medbay was quiet except for the soft beeping of machines. Princess Liravel lay on a white bed, still as stone. Her silver hair had been cleaned. Her wounds had closed. But her body glowed faintly, her skin now shining with strange pulses. Of red and blue light, Commander Jack Rayner sat beside her, arms crossed, eyes fixed on her face. It had been 2 days since he gave his blood to her. Doctors came and went. They spoke in hushed voices, confused and amazed. Lyra's body was healing fast, too fast. Her organs had rebuilt themselves. Her energy readings were beyond Elyari or human standards. She should still be in a coma, one doctor said. She's rewriting her own DNA, another whispered. Her cells are doing something new. Jack didn't care about the science. He only cared about one thing. Would she wake up? Then on the third night, she did. Jack had fallen asleep in the chair. Beside her bed, he woke to a soft sound, like music in the air. Her eyes were open, but they were not just blue anymore. They glowed like stars, a mix of blue and gold swirling slowly. Her gaze turned toward Jack, calm and curious. "You stayed," she said softly. Jack stood up fast. "You're awake." Lyra nodded slowly. "I dreamed of fire, and then light. And I saw you. Your blood saved me." Jack sighed with relief. "You almost died, I know," she said. She looked at her hands. "But I am not the same." Her fingers sparkled with faint energy. When she moved them, small lights followed, like tiny stars, dancing in the air. Doctors rushed in, scanners beeped. The machines didn't understand what she had become. "She's no longer just Elyari." One whispered, "She's something else now," another said. Lyra looked at Jack again. "What did you give me?" "My blood," Jack said. "That's all." She smiled faintly. It was more than that. By the next morning, news had spread. The last Elyari princess had survived. Not just survived, she had transformed. Scientists studied her, but no test could fully explain what she was. She had Elyari features, yes, but also human traits: stronger muscles, faster reflexes, energy that responded to her emotions. She could lift heavy objects with one hand. She could heal small wounds in seconds. And she could sense people's thoughts, not read them, but feel their intentions. Jack walked with her through the space station. Wherever she went, people stared, some with awe, some with fear. Lyra did not speak much. She stayed close to Jack, trusting no one else. "I feel different," she told him quietly. "Not just in body. My mind has opened. I can hear whispers. It's like memories, but not mine." She touched her temple. She touched her temple. "I see images, old ones. Places I've never been. Creatures long gone. And voices calling me starborn." Jack looked puzzled. "What does that mean?" "I don't know yet, but I must find out." A few days later, Lyra asked for a ship. "Where do you want to go?" Jack asked. "To my people's last temple," she said. "It's hidden on a distant moon. Only royals knew of it. There may be answers there." Jack didn't hesitate. "I'm coming with you." She smiled softly. "I was hoping you would." They left quietly, without telling the Galactic Council. Lyra did not trust them. Some council members had let the Elyari fall. Others were already afraid of her new form. They flew in a small scout ship alone. Jack piloted. Lyra sat beside him, quiet but alert. As they entered the dark region of space, Lyra suddenly gasped. "What is it?" Jack asked. "I feel something," she said, pulling me, like a voice calling my name. They followed her instinct. After hours of flying, they reached a strange moon covered in blue ice. Beneath the surface, scanners found a hidden structure ancient and massive. Jack landed the ship. They stepped out into freezing air. Lyra raised her hand, and the ice around the entrance melted away, as if obeying her command. Jack stared. How did you do that? I didn't try, she said. It just listened. They walked inside. The temple was beautiful, built from crystal and gold. Strange symbols glowed on the walls. Lights lit up as Lyra walked past them. At the center of the temple was a tall chamber. A glowing stone hovered in the air. Lyra stepped forward. Identity confirmed, said a deep voice from nowhere. Royal bloodline. Status. Ascended. Ascended. Jack asked. The voice continued. You are starborn. You carry both flames. You are the key. Lyra touched the stone. Visions filled her mind. Thousands of years ago, the Elyari had made contact with early humans. The two species had once shared genetic roots linked by ancient travelers. A prophecy was born one day. In a time of great darkness, a child of both would rise, a starborn, a bridge between worlds, a protector, a queen. Lyra gasped. It's me, the voice agreed. You are the first in 10,000 years. The Draxen fear what you may become. Jack listened in silence. What will you become? Lyra looked at him. I don't know yet. But I know this: my path began the day you gave me your blood. Stood in silence, outside, far in space. Draxen ships moved quietly. They had followed the trail. They had found her, and they were ready to strike. The hidden Elyari temple began to hum with strange energy. Crystal walls lit up as Princess Lyravel stood near the glowing stone. Jack Rayner stood beside her, weapon in hand, eyes sharp. The temple had called her Starborn, and now the ancient systems had fully awakened. Outside, the icy moon remained quiet, but that silence would not last. Lyra turned to Jack. I understand now. I was meant to come here. The answers are inside this place. In me. Jack nodded. Then let's find them fast. We're not alone anymore. Lyra felt it too. Something dark had entered orbit. The air was thicker, heavier. The temple's energy began to shift, like it sensed danger approaching. Suddenly a side door opened with a hiss. Inside was a narrow hallway glowing with golden light. This way, Lyra whispered. They walked carefully deeper into the temple. Jack stayed close, rifle ready. The walls showed moving images, visions of Elyari history. Glimpses of war, peace, and something ancient. Jack couldn't understand most of it, but Lyra's eyes followed the symbols like she had read them since birth. Finally, they entered a round chamber. In the center stood a tall crystal statue of a woman with both human and Elyari features. Eyes were glowing just like Lyra's. Is that you? Jack asked, surprised. No, Lyra said slowly. That's the first Starborn. She lived thousands of years ago. But she disappeared before her power was complete. They thought the prophecy was broken. Lyra stepped forward. The statue suddenly came to life. A voice echoed from the walls. Test of Ascension begins. Before Jack could react, the floor split. Lyra fell into a glowing circle, floating in the air. Energy beams surrounded her. Jack tried to jump in after her, but an invisible force threw him back. Lyra. She opened her eyes wide as light filled her body. Visions came fast: galaxies, flames, battles, the faces of humans and Elyari together. Then fire entered her heart, but it didn't burn. It gave strength. She heard the voice again. You carry two flames. Learn to balance them, or be destroyed. Her body shook, energy cracked around her. Jack watched helplessly. The chamber walls were shaking. Lights burst out, then silence. Lyra slowly floated down. When her feet touched the floor, the crystal faded. The room calmed. She opened her eyes and they blazed like twin stars. Jack ran to her. Are you okay? Lyra nodded. Yes, I passed the test. I understand my power now. They lifted one. Hand energy formed between her fingers, a glowing ball of white fire. She closed her hand and it vanished. Jack stared. You can control energy? Yes, Lyra said, and more. It can control machines, heal the wounded, even read the hearts of others. Jack raised an eyebrow. Read my heart? She smiled. Softly, yours is brave, loyal, and protective of me. Jack looked away, trying to hide a blush. Let's stay focused. Just then, the temple lights flashed red. An alert echoed through the walls. Hostile presence detected. Draxon ship. Entering atmosphere. Jack cursed. They found us. Lyra's face turned cold. They want to stop the prophecy. They fear the Starborn. Jack raised his rifle. Then they're about to fear something else, to me. Outside, a Draxon dropship landed hard on the icy surface. The Draxon were tall, black-scaled creatures with glowing red eyes and sharp claws. They marched toward the temple with heavy weapons. Inside, Jack and Lyra stood near the entrance chamber. Lyra had changed her clothes, now wearing old Elyari. Battle robes fitted with ancient armor pieces glowing faintly. There are many, Jack said, checking his ammo. At least 20. Lyra closed her eyes. I don't need to fight them all. Her hands lit up. The doors opened. The first Draxon entered. Dan froze. Lyra stepped forward, glowing like a sun. The Draxon aimed their guns, but before they could fire, Lyra raised her hands. Shockwave burst outward. The Draxon flew back like leaves in a storm, weapons falling. Jack fired at the ones still standing. His aim was sharp, fast, deadly. One shot to each, clean and quick. Lyra moved with grace and power, blasting enemy after enemy without touching them. Her energy swirled like a storm around her. Within minutes, the battle was over. Draxon lay unconscious or groaning in pain. The rest ran back to their ship. Jack looked around. That was incredible. Lyra's face was calm, but her eyes were full of fire. I didn't kill them. I want them to carry a message: the Starborn has returned. Back inside the temple, Lyra placed her hand on the central crystal again. The voice returned. Access granted. Final gift unlocked. A small device floated from the statue's chest. It looked like a glowing crystal shard. This is Elyari memory tech, Lyra explained. It holds knowledge power. She gave it to Jack. It belongs to you. Jack was surprised. Why me? You gave me your blood, your courage, your trust. You're now part of the prophecy too. Jack hesitated, then took it. The crystal sank into his armor, disappearing instantly. Jack felt warmth. New thoughts filled his mind. Tactical knowledge, languages, maps, and ancient fighting styles. He gasped. I feel smarter. Lyra said, smiling. You are now the protector of the Starborn. They left the temple as the sun rose behind the icy mountains. Their ship waited before they entered. Lyra turned and looked back. This place will stay hidden, but its purpose is complete. Jack nodded. What now? We return to the stars, Lyra said. There's a war coming. Yeah. The Draxon won't stop, and the Council may not be our friend. Jack checked his weapon. Then we get ready. Together. As the ship rose into the sky, the icy moon shrank below them. But something big had awakened, not just in Lyra, but across the galaxy. And soon, everyone would feel it. The stars outside the ship window sparkled like diamonds. Inside the cockpit, Princess Lyravel sat beside Commander Jack Rayner. She was quiet, her glowing eyes watching space pass by. They had left the hidden temple only a few hours ago. Now, they were heading to the Galactic Council Station, a massive city in space that floated above a gas giant. Lyra had made the decision herself. I must speak to the Council, she said. They must know I am alive, and what I have become. Jack didn't trust the Council. He had seen too many backroom deals, too many cold decisions. But he didn't stop her. Just be ready, he said. They won't all welcome you. Lyra nodded. I'm ready for that. When their ship landed on the station, security surrounded them quickly. Dozens of armored guards pointed weapons, till a tall council officer stepped forward and raised a hand. Stand down. The princess is under my protection. His name was Senator Vother, a thin man with silver skin and sharp golden eyes. He smiled politely, but Jack didn't trust the smile. You've returned from the dead, Princess, Vother said. And with changes. I have become starborn, Lyra said firmly. I carry both human and Eliari blood now, and with it, power. Watha raised an eyebrow. So I've heard. Lyra stepped closer. I came to speak to the full council. Not to you alone. You will, Votha replied. We've already arranged a special meeting. He led them through the wide metal halls of the station. Aliens from dozens of species watched from the sides. Some bowed. Some whispered. A few looked away in fear. Jack noticed the cameras following them. They're watching, he whispered. Lyra nodded. Let them watch. Inside the council chamber, leaders of 20 alien worlds sat in tall chairs. Their faces were serious. Some were old allies of the Eliari. Others were silent members who once supported the Draxan War in secret. Lyra stood in the center, wearing her golden battle robes. Jack stood behind her like a silent guardian. I have returned, Lyra said, voice strong. I am no longer just Eliari. I am something more. I carry the power of the Starburn passed from the first bond between human and Eliari blood. She held up her hand. Energy formed between her fingers. Small golden lights floated like fireflies. Murmurs filled the chamber. I came to ask for peace, she continued. The Draxans still move in the shadows, but we can face them together with unity, not fear. A few counselors clapped softly, but others frowned. One alien stood, it green skin and 4 arms. How can we trust someone who is not even fully Eliari anymore? She is a weapon, another hissed. It's made from a human experiment. Jack took a step forward. She asked me for help. She didn't force anything. What happened to her saved her life, and maybe more. Votha stood. Enough. The chamber quieted. We thank the princess for her return, but for safety, she must remain under protection. Her powers are unknown. The council will vote. After further study, Lyra narrowed her eyes. You mean prison? No. Security, Watha replied coldly. For everyone's safety. Jack stepped in front of her. She's not a threat to anyone. 2 guards moved forward with stun sticks. Lyra raised her hand, but before she could react, a strong energy field snapped around her. It was a trap. The floor beneath her glowed, locking her powers. She fell to her knees, stunned. Lyra, Jack yelled, rushing toward her. He didn't make it far. A shock dart hit his back. Everything went black. Jack woke up in a dark cell.
Out.
His weapons were gone. His armor stripped. He sat up slowly. A voice came from a corner. You shouldn't have trusted them. It was Captain Drez, another human who had once served on a peace mission. Looked rough and tired. They did the same to me, Drez said. Locked me away for speaking the truth. Jack clenched his fists. Where is she? In the high-security lab. They're scanning her, testing her like some lab creature. Jack stood up. Then I'm getting her out. Drez laughed bitterly. You won't even get out of this room. But Jack had something the guards didn't know. When Lyra gave him the Eliari memory crystal, it had bonded with his body. He still felt its warmth in his chest. He focused. The walls around him shimmered. For a second, he saw hidden circuits and weak points in the cell. He smiled. I'm not the same either. In the lab, Lyra lay on a metal bed. Energy cuffs held her down. Machines scanned her body, taking readings, trying to understand her. Power Vathar stood nearby, watching. You are a danger to us all, he said coldly. Your kind was supposed to die. But now you shine brighter than all. That's not safe for the balance of power. Lyra opened her eyes. It's not balance you want, it's control. Bothard didn't answer. He walked away, but the lights in the room flickered. A few minutes later, the door exploded. Jack stepped inside. Wearing stolen armor, 2 plasma guns in hand, he shot 2 guards before they could react. Jack, Lyra whispered. I came back for you, he said, blasting. Another lock open. The cuffs released. Lyra sat up weakly. You're hurt, he said. I'll heal, she replied, standing. He helped her walk. They'll be coming soon. I know, she said, but I'm not running. She raised both hands. Energy flowed back into her. Lights burst. The machines in the room stopped working. Screens cracked. She stood tall once more. The bond between her and Jack was now stronger than ever. They didn't speak, but they understood each other. "Let's end this," Lyra said. They fought their way through the station. Guards fell. Doors burst open. Other prisoners followed them, causing chaos. Alarms screamed. At the hangar bay, Wather stood with more soldiers. "You think you can run forever?" he yelled. Lyra stepped forward. "I don't need to run." She unleashed a wave of energy. Shields broke. Weapons melted. Wather fell back, stunned. Jack pulled Lyra into the ship as they lifted off. The council station shrank behind them. Lyra looked out the window. "This was just the beginning," she said. "Now we show the galaxy what Starborn truly means." Jack smiled. "I'm with you. All the way." Together, they vanished into the stars to warriors, bonded by blood, ready to change the galaxy. The stars shone bright as the small ship moved through deep space. Inside, Commander Jack Rayner sat beside Princess Lyra, who now glowed with calm power. Her eyes were steady. Her heart was strong. They had escaped the Galactic Council's trap, but they knew the real fight was still ahead. "They won't stop," Jack said, checking the scanner. "The Draxan, the Council, they'll both come for us." Lyra nodded. "Let them come. This time, we won't run." Her voice was no longer soft like before. It had changed, stronger, deeper, full of purpose. They weren't just fugitives anymore. They were a warning and a hope. They flew to the Elyari Temple moon, where her people's last knowledge was stored. There, Lyra called out a signal, a message. To the entire galaxy, it was simple. "I am Lyra, last of the Elyari. I carry the Starborn flame. I seek peace, but I will not kneel. Those who hunt me will know my power, and those who follow me will rise with me." The message spread like fire. Some worlds ignored it, others mocked it, but many listened. Alien leaders, rebel colonies, forgotten soldiers. When they saw her glowing eyes and heard her calm voice, they believed. They saw something the galaxy hadn't seen in years. Hope, meanwhile, the Draxan Empire began to move. In secret, their war fleets gathered near the galactic core. Their leader, Warlord Zorvok, watched Lyra's message with cold eyes. "She is a threat to our rule," he hissed. "She must burn." The Draxan hated weakness, but they feared prophecy even more. And the Starborn prophecy had once predicted their fall. Zorvok ordered the full fleet to strike Earth first to destroy the place where human blood came from. "If we kill the humans," he growled, "we break the prophecy forever." Back on the moon, Lyra stood inside the Crystal Temple. Her hands hovered over ancient controls. She spoke to the machines like an old friend. "Activate the Starborn fleet." Jack stood nearby, surprised. "What fleet?" Lyra smiled softly. "My ancestors hid something. Ships built for the Starborn Queen. They've waited thousands of years." Suddenly, the mountain behind the temple cracked open. From the ice rose 7 massive warships, each glowing with Elyari light and shaped like wings of light and fire. Jack stared in awe. "They're beautiful. They're alive," Lyra said, "and they listened to me." The final battle was coming. The Draxan fleet was heading for Earth. The Galactic Council had gone silent, afraid to pick a side. Only Lyra stood between the Draxan and destruction. She turned to Jack. "We go to Earth now," he nodded. Together. As the Starborn fleet arrived near Earth's orbit, the humans were already preparing for war. The skies were filled with defense platforms and fighter wings, but everyone knew against the full Draxan armada, Earth couldn't hold for long. When Lyra's ships appeared, the human generals were shocked, but they didn't fire. Instead, they listened as Lyra sent a message to the planet. "I come not as a ruler, but as one of you. Human blood saved me. Human courage protected me. Now I return the gift."
How cheers rose across human cities.
The people welcomed her as one of their own. The Elyari had died out, but the hybrid queen had risen. Then came the storm. The Draxan fleet dropped out of warp near Saturn. Hundreds of warships, cruel, sharp designs, black metal, and red lights. Jack looked at the scanner. They're splitting their forces. Some for Earth, some for us. Lyra's eyes narrowed. Then we hold the line. She raised her hand. Starborn fleet moved as one. The battle began. In space, light and fire danced. Missiles roared. Energy beams clashed. Jack led a squadron of Earth fighters. He flew fast and deadly, protecting human transports and damaging enemy flanks. Lyra stood. On the bridge of her main ship, the Flamewing controlling weapons and shields with her mind. She no longer needed buttons or wires. The ship listened to her thoughts. Draxan ships surrounded them, but they could not stop her. She tore through them like lightning through clouds, one by one. The Draxan fell, but then came Zorvok's flagship. It was 5 times the size of any other ship, shaped like a giant spear of death. It fired beams that melted human cruisers in seconds. Lyra faced it head-on. Jack's voice came through the comms. That thing is huge. Lyra's eyes glowed. Then I'll shine brighter. She flew the Flamewing straight into the heart of the battle. Zorvok's voice echoed across the stars. Hybrid Queen, you are a mistake. An insult to all pure bloodlines. Lyra answered calmly. No, I am the future, and your time is over. She unleashed her full power. The Flamewing lit up. Like a star, beams of pure energy blasted from it, cutting through Zorvok's ship. Jack and the others watched as the dark flagship cracked, exploded, and vanished into fire. The battle was over. The Draxan were defeated. After the victory, silence filled space. Then came cheers from humans, from rebels, even from some old enemies. They had seen something no one thought possible. A new kind of leader, not born from royal blood alone, not made by power or greed, but born from sacrifice and choice. Jack stood beside Lyra on a high platform overlooking Earth. The wind blew gently. Stars shone above. You did it, he said quietly. She looked at him. No, we did. He smiled. What now? Lyra thought for a moment. Then she spoke. I will not take a throne. I will not build an empire. But I will guide those who wish to build peace. I will protect those who have no voice. Jack nodded. Sounds like a queen to me. She laughed softly. Yet, let the galaxy call me what it wants. I will always remember where it started. She placed her hand over his heart. Right here, with your blood, with your courage. They stood together, man and alien, warrior and queen, human and hybrid. A new age had begun, and the stars would never be the same.